Well, hello and good evening, everyone. We are excited to have yet another month, another edition of Houston HBCU Live. We are in the place. Yours truly, Bishop Richard Harper, Vice President of the Houston HBCU Alumni Association, and our very own President, Ms. Veronica Johnson Williams. Good
Yes.
evening.
Hello there. Hello. It is
And how
so
are
good
you?
to be back.
It is so great to be back. How are you this evening?
I am feeling, I tell you, if I felt any better, I wouldn't have a word to explain it. So I'll just say, you know what? I'm feeling good today. Ready for a good conversation, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. And we are dealing with this heat in Houston, this very hot time that we are in. But hey,
yes.
it's a good time. But it's a great time for our historically Black colleges and universities, isn't it? It's a great time for us.
Yes, it is.
Yes, so
great time to keep promoting, keep uplifting, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. So if you're joining us for the first time, we are the Houston HBCU Alumni Association. We are an organization located in Houston, Texas, of course, the great city of Houston, Texas. And we are a coalition of HBCU, historically Black college and universities, graduates, alumni, and we have come together as a coalition to promote historically Black colleges and universities, of course, across the Metroplex of Houston, Texas, but all around the world. We promote our schools and promote awareness and bring awareness to historically Black colleges and universities and HBCUs. So if you're joining us for the very first time, listen. Please comment. Let's go ahead. We need to know who is on with us. So go ahead and comment. Say hello to us. Let us know what school you're representing. We need our school shout outs. Shout out your school. I'm representing Paul Quinn College tonight.
And I'm Grambling State University.
Woo! Grambling State University. And so, you know, I intended to have my Paul Quinn mug, my Paul Quinn glass, like we talked about. You got your Grambling glass, but nobody in the house knows what happened to my glass. So I had intended to take my Grambling cup that you gave me, and I was gonna put a piece of paper over it and write Paul Quinn.
No, you can just keep it Grambling. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Keep it Grambling.
All right. Okay. All right. We got it. Who's on with us tonight? Who is this? We have you, John S. Hughes, Southern University is on with us. Yes, Southern is in the house. Y'all are absolutely quiet. So do me a favor, like and share. Tell folks to go in to the broadcast and let's watch the broadcast on tonight. I've shared it, but I'm going to my phone to share it again. Ms. V, you go to your phone and share it again, and tell your production team, See, you know, she's got a production team. I'm in here by myself. So thank you so much, Southern University, for joining us tonight. We have a great conversation tonight, guys, that we're going to hold. And we also have one of our team members that represents Howard University on with us, is going to come into the conversation a little later in the conversation. So you have joined in with us. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my wonderful co-host, Ms. V, so she can update us on what's going on the yard. It's time for what's going on.
Let's talk about a few things. And I tell you what, I want the audience to really, really be engaged tonight, because these are things that we all, I'm pretty sure, are following. And the main thing is, there's just a couple of things that we're going to throw out there tonight that we want our alums to follow even afterwards, so we can have dialogue on a continuous basis as we promote and uplift our HBCUs, because these are some things that really, really help support our historically Black colleges and universities and any of the other institutions of higher learning. And that is, guess what? Some of our spring football schedules have been released. So we will be playing football, guys. It'll be in the spring, but we'll be okay. Just put on your t-shirts and shorts and come right on out. And I just want to make sure, Richard, that everybody still purchase your season tickets, because your schools need that funding. So even though we're not playing in the fall, I know you did like myself, because my sons are not going to let me not purchase my season tickets. And my husband, when that time comes, everybody wants to make sure they're sitting in their seats. So please get your season tickets and look for those schedules, because you want to make sure you still go out and support your alma mater. So that's the first thing. Then I know, guess what?
What?
This is a good one here, Richard. I tell you, when I saw this come on board, I was like, hey, this should have been an easy fix.
Okay.
Esports.
Esports.
Yes, the HBCUs have come on board in record numbers to do esports.
Esports. We're doing e-church, so we need esports.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The students are actually already doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of got it all organized through, and I'll tell you in a second what the name of who they partnered with. Collegiate Star League, CSL.
Okay.
Morehouse in Tennessee was already competing in esports. So because of the pandemic, guess what? Sell it to the rest of them, bring them all on board and support. And guys, we want to support that too. You want to make sure you support esports as well. Because I'm pretty sure if you have a student or a husband or a spouse or a guy friend or a friend, because it's not just the males that's doing the esports, females as well, because they play the video games and all of that as well. So just make it competitive. And now you still have your sports. So all of that, they were planning on launching it during the fall, football season. But guess what? It's okay. We're flexible. We're HBCU grads. We know how to provide input in making sure all of these things happen. So we're going to look out for those two things.
Right.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening on the yards.
Okay, tell us what's going on our Houston HBCU yard, because Lord knows we have been busy. The pandemic has not stopped.
We have not stopped yet, and we don't plan on ever stopping, because I know yourself and myself, we're already grooming others. When we move over to do something else, we're already grooming others on the job training to just slide right on in and keep it moving. We learned all of this at an HBCU. So let me tell you what's happening with our Houston HBCU Alumni Association. We're on the move, guys. Guess what? We have a new website. And we certainly want you to go out there. It's easy to remember, hbcuaa.org. And you can actually join on there, find out information, who we are, the whole 9 yards, including announcements like this one. It's out there. So not only do you have a place to land on our Facebook page, but you have a place to land now on the website.
Yes.
hbcuaa.org. And as I stated, you can become a member right there on that page. So we've been really, really active in the community. When COVID came around, we organized and made sure that we were there to support our students and our schools. So we answered the call, and here are some of the schools that this organization donated directly to. Grambling State University, Texas Southern University, Prairie View, A&M University, and even one of our organizations that help our homebound seniors that are 60 plus. We have donated over $1,000 to those efforts. And then those member schools that donated and made that happen was Grambling State University. These are the representatives of our organization from these schools that donated this over $1,000. Grambling State University alums, Prairie View, A&M University alums, Texas College alum, and Morgan State alum. Thank you guys. We want to publicly thank you for those donations so that we can make an impact in the community. We answered that call, and we're still getting in donations for that because COVID is still going on. And so we want to be able to help where we can. And that is a major area. And guess what?
What?
Scholarships.
All right.
We are so happy. We are so happy, Bishop. I tell you, the scholarship committee is an awesome committee. It's headed up by Virgil Akins from Florida A&M. And then the members are made up of schools like Southern University. That's Miss Crystal, Miss Gracie Bradford from Grambling State University, Toy Babineau from Clark, Atlanta. And then we had Thelma, Miss Thelma Leday from Jarvis Christian. They made up that committee, and they were able to come out and give us these 2020 recipients. Kobe Phillips will be attending Howard University. Quincy Williams will be attending Grambling State University. These are our 2020 scholarship winners. Xavier Smith, he will be attending Hampton University. Stanton Trueheart, he will be attending North Carolina A&T University. And then this year, we established our social justice George Floyd scholarship. And looking at this young lady's credentials as it relates to the community, this went to Gabrielle Lenore, and she will be attending Southern University and A&M College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So congratulations, 2020 scholarship winners of the Houston HBCU Alumni Association. So, Richard,
congratulations to those students. Congratulations to them. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to Houston HBCU Live. We're your host, Veronica Johnson, president of this great organization, and Richard Harper, vice president of the Houston HBCU Alumni Association. You've joined in, you tuned in to Houston HBCU Live. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm giving a shout out to John Hughes because she talking to us and saying hello.
Yes,
so
yes, we love it when you interact with us. So please, guys, tonight, come on, interact with us. Talk back to us, and we can talk to you.
That's right. So I need you to rep your school put your schools in the comments. Let us know who you are. Let us know that you're representing your HBCU, your favorite HBCU. And so, we can recognize you in your comments. We've got some other things going on, right, Ms. V?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Of course, we want to make sure we remind all of the HBCU alums out there in the Houston area. If you pay close attention to our social media platforms, we always announce our monthly meetings, our monthly At Ease Thursday, and other things that we are involved in. We were just out in the community on this past Saturday where we partnered with Karen Johnson's annual giveaway. And if you don't know Karen, please get a chance to meet Karen, because guess what? Karen is the proud mother of Andre Johnson, our former Houston Texans great player. But I always say Andre is Karen's son, not Karen is Andre's mother. But we have a good time with that. But yes, we partnered with them on this past Saturday for her back to school giveaway. And we were out there bringing HBCU awareness to the community while she was out there making sure those students had what they needed in order to start school on their first day, which included not only a backpack of goodies, which had an HBCU treat off in there as well, but she also gave these students shoes to wear. And she do that on an annual basis.
Awesome.
Shout out to Karen Johnson and her annual giveaway, helping the community. And it was a pleasure. We had a great time out there, Karen. So thank you for the invitation to partner with you with that great opportunity. And like I said, it was an honor for us to be able to be out in the community.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. We've had so much going on. Also, we want to remind you guys that we have virtual At Ease Thursday, September, and our highlighted school for our virtual At Ease Thursday is Alabama A&M University. The theme is tailgate party. So if you're attending the virtual At Ease, wear your jersey representing your favorite team.
Yes.
At Ease Thursday is an exclusive event. It's members only. Membership has its privileges.
Yes.
It is members only. So if you would, every second Thursday, so that will be September 10th.
Yes.
From 6 to 7 p.m. It is via Zoom. You will need to receive the Zoom link either from an invitation from the organization. So if you are a member of the organization, or if you're on our email list, then you will be able to receive that information. So even if you're a member, make sure that you are on the email list. Let's recognize Willie Green from Texas College is on with us.
Yes, and I am so glad that he's there, Bishop, because guess what? Let me send a shout out to Mr. Willie Green. He is a member, proud member of our membership committee and the web designer of our newly created and implemented website. So, and then our chairperson of our membership committee, while you're already talking about membership, that is Miss Donna Travis from Johnson C. Smith University. So all of our teams are working collectively, creating and coming up with ways to make sure that our historically Black colleges and universities are out in the forefront. So Willie, we want to say publicly, thank you for creating our new website in order to enhance our membership.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Willie, and Texas College, representing Texas College. We love our new website, as a matter of fact.
We do.
I see we have Jennifer Brown is on, representing Southern University. Also, our Treasurer is on, Crystal Henderson representing Southern University, and a happy birthday, happy belated birthday to
Yes.
Crystal as well. She is one of our hardworking members as well. So those of you that are tuning in, please comment and represent your school. We want to make sure we recognize, let's see, Randall McHenry is in the house from Xavier. All right,
Yes,
Texas.
baby in the house.
Where is
Welcome.
Texas tonight? I mean, all of this Fleur de Lis, all of this, this Louisiana schools.
Go ahead and say it. Come on, Bishop. Get it out. Get it out.
All of these oh my God, there we go. Somebody from Texas. Come on, Joyce Johnson. Joyce Johnson is on with Prairie View A&M University. All right, we've got a question before we go in.
Yes, we want to make sure we get that one.
Who's on the yard? Who is the contact person to make contributions and apply for applications for the George Floyd Scholarship? Thank you, Angela Lemons, for that question.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take that one, Richard. I certainly will. We love donations. So there's two ways you can do this currently. You can use PayPal and just send funds to Houston HBCU Alumni Association at yahoo.com. Or, Bishop, they can cash out give us that cash out and tell them what to put in the memo.
Okay, I can tell you Cash App, and I'm putting it out here right now.
Okay,
Cash App.
You're gonna put them all out there, and then for checks and money orders, you can mail those to 2450 Louisiana Street, Suite 400, number 342, Houston, Texas, 77006.
Now, look, I can't type that fast. Okay,
it might be already on the donation might already be on our website page. Might already have that out there. But we'll check and see. It might already be out there where you can just click the PayPal button and the address and all of that good stuff. But if you ever have any questions, just message us or email us, and we will send you anything you need immediately.
Yes. So the contact person is, of course, Veronica Johnson would be the contact person, and then she will in turn connect you with our scholarship team leader, Mr. Virgil. Also, there's another question, and thank you for these questions because we also want you to know who we are. And you know what? I didn't tell you, Miss Veronica, but we are simulcasting on YouTube as well. So you're not just on Facebook, you're actually on YouTube Live as well.
Bishop, you have certainly brought me into the 21st century of all of this technology.
So we welcome YouTube on as well. There was another question before we get into more of our discussion. We have Randall McHenry as asking, have there been meetings lately? And yes, we have meetings.
Yes.
Meetings. We have our monthly meeting. We have our team meetings, and we've updated our language. We don't have committees. We have teams now. We have team meetings, planning meetings. We have all of these meetings, okay? So we definitely want to you follow our page and you can get the information for our meetings. All right, let's just recognize these others. Angela Lemons from Texas Southern University is on.
TSU.
Yes, TSU. Willie Green also is representing TSU. Miss Foreman is on. Doris Foreman. Paul Quinn College is in the house.
Paul Quinn College in the house.
Paul Quinn, my school is in the house. And of course, let's see, John is just recognizing Miss
The Who
Crystal,
Dat Nation.
the Who Dat Nation.
And
Okay,
if
so
you're up North Louisiana, you in Tiger Country.
all right, you in Tiger Country. Well, keep on coming to North Texas, and you still in Tiger Country with Paul Quinn. Get to Dallas,
Exactly.
45 South Simpson Stewart Road. You are still in Tiger Country. Just come on up 20 and come into Tiger Country. So I have a video that I want to show us tonight, Miss Veronica.
Okay.
As we go in our
Last
discussion.
month, the video was, I mean, it was extremely informative. I
Yeah.
loved it. So you have a, an art. You can kind of, what do you call it? You have really developed an eye for finding the right videos for each one of our conversations. So I'm pretty sure this one is just as good.
Thank you. And there's Michael and Flag. Did someone say Southern? I mean, these Southernites are just they're cutting up tonight. So tonight,
Rambling nights.
so in our
Southern outdo us on nothing. Marbles, nothing.
All right. So in our discussion, we're talking about, and we're going to bring in also, and guys, we want you definitely to jump in on this conversation. We know that the Republican National Convention is going on. Currently, we have also had our Democratic National Convention, and Miss V, and everybody who knows, I call President Johnson Miss V. So you're actually, this is what we do on the phone. We talk nearly every day. So this is y'all just come in on our phone conversation. Of course, we're going to bring in Miss Adrienne Brown on the conversation as well. So y'all, this is our phone conversation. This is not Oprah and Gail. This is Veronica and Rich. So having this conversation.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this is a very critical time and moment, our 2020 presidential election for HBCUs. And we are especially excited whether anyone is supporting Biden, Harris, but as a community, we are excited to see Kamala Harris on the ticket with Joe Biden running for Vice President of the United States of America. We are ecstatic about it, because she is an alumnus of Howard University and HBCU, as well as she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And we all made the joke that the polls, are going to look like the boule. There will be pink and green all over the polls. We know that, but we believe that this election, it is historic. And we believe that we will see history made this particular election. But one of our topics of discussion tonight is the impact that this election will have upon our HBCUs. And as we've heard Senator Harris's campaign, as she was vying for the Democratic nomination, HBCUs were certainly at the top of one of her top priorities was HBCUs, and also making sure that HBCUs received adequate funding from the United States government. So Yahoo News had released a video a couple of weeks ago that's actually talking about what Kamala Harris, Vice President's appointment means for Black America and HBCUs. I want to go ahead and roll this clip, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Beloved Alpha Kappa Alpha, our Divine Nine, and my HBCU brothers and sisters.
Glenda Carr, President and CEO of Higher Heights. The announcement of Senator Kamala Harris was highly anticipated, right? And it wasn't anticipating necessarily her name, but it was the fact that there had been months of speculation of which woman would Vice President Biden pick. Black women bring their authentic selves when they govern. I think we are truth tellers in the spirit of Shirley Chisholm. As you know, Black women literally will speak truth to power. And they do that as advocates, they do that as activists, and they certainly bring that to city halls, state houses, and Washington in a very unique way. And when they fight for issues, they center the issues of the experience that they come from, but they also are fighting for the full nation.
I'm Howard Henderson, the director of the Center for Justice Research and professor of Justice Administration at Texas Southern University. I'm a professor at Historically Black College and University, and so I know what that means to have that opportunity to be on the world stage to show the product of our educational system and this long historical legacy of educating Black people when predominantly white institutions would not allow us access into their institutions. Her example, her matriculation shows the ability to personally grow and evolve into a better space than you originally started. And I think that's the American way. And she expresses that. And I think once that the American people get a chance to see who she is and understand her perspective, I think we'll be much the better for that.
I think what's great about that is it is oftentimes there's people talk about the difference between going to a HBCU and an Ivy college, right? So, historically, many of our leaders have gone to Ivy League colleges. This is an opportunity to really show how competitive and well prepared these institutions have prepared most of our national leaders. And so I suspect a couple of things are going to happen. That you have alumni walking a little taller with a little more pride. And I think it's introducing HBCUs to a whole broad new network of potential supporters. It is now for Senator Harris and Vice President Biden now to continue to speak to the people. And our goal as informed voters is to have a dialogue back and to ask questions, clarify the questions about her record and places where you are. But I will certainly share with you that her breadth of work and depth of work is centered in progressive policies that, frankly, Higher Heights believes are beneficial for Black women, our families, and our communities.
What makes her different in this regard really is that, she has been able to achieve a certain level of success that we oftentimes don't attribute to the Black women, but we know that's false. Unfortunately, Black women don't receive the same level of attention as males and even African-American males. But I think she also highlights the diversity that we have in historically Black colleges and universities around this country. I mean, we also have several white majority historically Black colleges and universities. I think the diversity that HBCUs represent, she is going to be able to speak to that narrative. HBCUs are uniquely situated to solve many of today's problems. If you look at what's happening around us, you see record unemployment, you see pandemics, and you see the African-American community being directly impacted in both of those spaces. If you think about who is going to solve the problem, you think initially about historically Black colleges and universities because we share the lived experiences with many of the folks who have found themselves on the negative end of these realities as we see them today.
All
Bishop,
right.
I told you
That
you have
was
a
an
knack
excellent.
of choosing the right video.
It's, you know what, it's very important for us in doing this.
So Bishop will be right back, and we'll just go ahead and keep it going. And what we really want you all to do at this time is to, as he stated, we don't tell anyone who to go out and vote for, but we do encourage everyone to make sure you register to vote And make sure you take your family members with you to vote. Do not go alone. Take your family members. Start with your family members and take them when you go out to vote. So, and not only voting is very, very important at this time, but the census. Make sure you complete the census if you have not completed the census. And with that, we're going to get back with Bishop. He's back.
I'm back. I was just talking. I don't know what happened, but y'all, this is live. You know, this is live.
It's okay.
So,
Look,
you know,
this was Rich and V. So if we don't see Rich, we're gonna flip it over to V, and we're gonna keep it moving. So we got you.
All right. All right. Thank you. So let's go into this. We want to bring now on the live with us on the broadcast with us, Miss Adrienne Brown, who is a graduate of Howard University. She'll share a little bit more with us about her Howard experience. She's also the team leader of our social justice and community relations team, but primarily social justice, as she is our eyes and ears on the street, keeping us abreast to what is taking place in our city and in our nation with social justice. Welcome to Houston HBCU Live, Miss Adrienne Brown.
Hi, Miss Brown.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You can back the camera up just a little bit where you were. That's good. We can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. So thank you so much for the introduction. And yes, I am very excited about what we are doing in the community here in Houston. We are fighting for justice for many of the persons that have been, killed unjustly. And also, we're fighting to, receive justice, to have those officers held accountable. For example, in the George Floyd case, where now they're trying to make up every excuse why he was killed, stating something about under the influence of some kind of substance, and also, that his health was a factor or whatever, where we can clearly see on camera that he was actually murdered right before our eyes, our very eyes. And also in the Washington, D.C. area, Howard University is one of the pillars in the community to increase awareness and participation about initiatives that are important to us. And of course, our culture, our communities are on the forefront of our passions, of our dedication, our hard work in the community. We're also trying to support and promote a healthy campus community as it relates to our physical and mental health. For example, what we're going through now with the pandemic going on, many of us, our communities, persons are suffering because of lack of resources, lack of, health care insurance, and all of that goes with it. We're also trying to develop partnerships with businesses, especially small businesses in the communities, to combat, health disparities in our local communities, to also increase programs, tracking our progress, through a development of globally monitored delivery by our students, faculty, and staff.
That's amazing. I want to ask you, and that goes into our second part of our discussion is HBCU alumni being active in the community. But I want to talk about, because certainly we know that Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, is a bison. I pray I got that correct.
You did.
I did. She's a Howard University alumnus. I got it correct. She is a bison, and that's really important. Tell me, what is going on at Howard right now? What is the energy like at Howard University right now? What have you heard?
Oh, it's very exciting. It's exhilarating. We are just ecstatic that we have a woman. Go girl power. She's a Cali girl. She's a Howard girl. So we are just so excited that she's on the forefront, that she's actually going to be on the ballot. And we hope that she will move to the next level so that we can fight right along with her, because she's a fighter, definitely.
Yes,
And I like her platform, what she stands for, and I know that she's going to ensure that Howard University and all of our HBCUs receive better funding for our students, for our community, for the campus, and just, a wide range of initiatives that I know that she's passionate about. And civil rights is at the top of the list. So we are so excited that she is a bison and that she will stand for Howard University for sure.
absolutely. I think this is one of the a very historical presidential election, and I think this is a very important year for us, and that this election will have a great impact upon HBCUs. I want to ask you, ladies, to kind of let's discuss that. What impact? How do you feel that this election impacts the HBCU community?
For one
Ms.
thing,
John.
I'm excited that a female is running with a male. I mean, because past traditions, decades, centuries, former presidents always choose a male counterpart. And so I'm just excited that she's standing for women. She's standing for everyone, but she's especially standing for women, as she is a Black woman. And I just believe that she's going to bring it strong, and that she's going to stand for all of her what she says she's going to stand for, justice. I believe she's going to stand for civil rights, and also I like her fighting for the rights of all residents in the communities that she serves and beyond. And I also know that she has spent her life at a young age, even it was instilled in her to participate in community relations, community activism, um, and also to fight and march and vote, for what we know is right, and for all equality for everyone, but especially our communities.
And to
I,
add to that, Bishop,
mhm.
and to add to that, I think what she brings to the table, and this was mentioned on your video, but I want to add this. He said that the professor from Texas Southern University stated that she could speak to the HBCU narrative. But I want to add this. Not only will she be able to speak to the HBCU narrative, she will be able to control that narrative.
Yes.
Why? Because she has the HBCU experience, the HBCU experience. She has lived it, and she is continuing to live it, because once you become a part of the HBCU family, you are a family member forever. So she will not only be able to speak to it, she'll be able to control it, meaning someone that has not graduated from an HBCU cannot control the narrative. They're pretty much regurgitating what they have been briefed on and read and things like that. She'll be able to control that narrative.
Mhm. Absolutely, and I believe her story, and that's key. The issue is that in America, we make most of our decisions from 10-second sound bites that most of us see on social media. It's
Yeah.
amazing to me that one sound bite will misinform the people.
Right.
And even after hearing the full video or the full discussion in context, it still doesn't change the opinion of people. And
Right.
so when we talk about narratives, narratives deal with who's actually telling the story. And I believe that. And so the issue is that we've not been in the position to tell our story because it takes dollars. It takes money to tell our stories, and we don't necessarily own the media outlets to tell our stories or to be in the position to tell our story. And I think it's very important that we have someone in the White House, like you said, who can tell our story. I mean, who can tell the story because she has experienced the story, that HBCU story. And I believe that's why this election is very important for us. And for us, it doesn't matter what side you're on as an organization. We definitely are not here to tell you who to vote for and who you are to support and what side you should be on. But I think as HBCU alumni and enthusiasts and supporters, that it's important to us that we make sure that we have voices in power that can tell our story, and that who will defend us. It makes a difference. It makes a difference when there is no one there. Yeah, it makes a difference.
You tell your story better than someone else.
Absolutely, absolutely. We need someone that can tell the story for us. But also, I hear this question quite often when I'm on panel discussions, and especially with the others. I like to say our cousins on the other side of the fence, and they usually ask me this. What do Black people want? What is on the agenda for Black people? But when we talk about HBCUs, as it was brought up by Yahoo News, and we know this well, HBCUs are historically Black colleges and universities. We have many HBCUs that have a majority of other ethnicities. There's not only African Americans attending HBCUs, so this also benefits other ethnic groups that take advantage of an HBCU education.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And she will be able to show, Richard, that HBCUs, they develop leaders. While we're on campus, we're actually in those leadership positions. We are allowed to come to meetings with our governors and our presidents, because when I started working, some of my management was surprised that I had a relationship with the university president. Some of them told me, I don't even know who the university president was. But that's one of the advantages of attending an HBCU, a historically Black college and university. You develop from day one that bond, that you're part of that family nurturing environment, and they are there to help you create that solid foundation that you will need for life.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere else will you be able to get that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've had an opportunity to attend many different schools.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I can vouch for that foundation that I received. Mm-hmm. I received it on the campus. The one that was, leaving my parents' home where they had set it, and that transition from there to life, that foundation, that solid foundation was established and set on the campus of Grambling State University. And I still have a relationship with those individuals that helped establish. I can call them, they call me. We are a family forever.
Absolutely. And I like what Eujan, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She says relationship and village support. And that's it. We've seen that in this election. It is expected to see HBCU alums as well as members of Black Greek letter organizations to show up to the polls in record numbers. This is what we are expecting to see. And I was very excited to see that Senator Harris recognized her sorority, her Divine Nine family, as well as all of her historically Black college and university families in her speech at the Democratic National Convention. We've also got another comment here from Ms. Bradford, another Gramblinite in the house.
Hey, come on, Grambling.
Senator Harris is an intellectual, tough female with credentials for the job. Every HBCU graduate needs to vote in this election. We need to vote in this election. It's very important to us because I believe it means a lot for our schools and for our universities. I posted on my Facebook page because many of my friends and followers on social media tend to be on the Democratic side. And so many of them were saying that they were not going to watch or were not interested in the Republican National Convention. And I said, no, don't turn a deaf ear. We need to hear. We need to hear what is taking place on both sides of the fence. And for me, it's important that we know the issues. It's important that we know the issues that are out there and the candidates that we are electing, that we know what they support and how they represent us. And that's why I feel like with the Biden-Harris presidential campaign, that it does represent us. And I do believe as HBCUs, we are at the top of the list. We are priority. I believe that. We have another comment from Michael and Flag that says HBCUs consistently outperform non-HBCUs in student experience, affordability, and after college preparedness for Black students. I would have to agree with that. Now, there are others from PWIs, privately white predominantly white institutions. Some people say, I haven't heard of that. Ms. Brown, looks like you got something you want to say about that.
HBCUs is the only way to go. The experience is second to none. It's a community in itself. It's our community, and it's so awesome to see our professors look like us. They look out for us. They teach us beyond. They teach us globally. And they really have a heart for the students. They care about us. They care about the community. They also live in the communities, the surrounding communities. Some of them live nearby, the campus. So and then the people that you meet from all over the world, it's just undeniable. You have lifelong friendships. You make networking connections in the corporate professional world. And you also, there's a sisterhood and a brotherhood. Just if you need something, we can look to each other to help each other out of any situation. If you need something to eat, if you just need personal resources, personal care, if you need just somebody to talk to, on a mental health level, we are there for each other for those things. And then, of course, our theater programs, our band is Ocean of Soul is, oh my goodness, just so many memories, so many great memories, and lots of fun on the yard, 12 noon on Fridays. Don't miss it.
No, and those things that you mentioned are so important to us as HBCU alums. And I agree with you, Joyce Johnson, that says, yes, we need to fully understand the Republican plan. So we want to know the issues and educate ourselves on the issues and know the plan, know what the platforms are. That's very important. Moving into furthering the discussion from the presidential election, and it takes us into that because someone asked even about voter registration and what organizations have voter registration drives. I believe I've seen at some of our HBCU events, I've seen members of Alpha Kappa Alpha actually doing voter registration at some of our events, I believe. But we want to talk about now HBCU participation, alumni participation in the community. And this is what I mean. This is what we mean by that. Many of times we represent other organizations in the communities. We represent our fraternities, sororities. We represent the colleges, not the colleges, the companies that we work for. We go out and we do things in the neighborhood, but we feel it's very important. And this is what we've done in our mentor program in the community, is we felt like it would make a tremendous impact on the students to see us come out in our shirts representing our HBCUs and the schools that we have graduated from, for them to see our shirts. Again, here's the key word, narrative, to connect with our story. So one of the things that we wanted to discuss this evening is, in our last few minutes of the broadcast, time has really flown by, is yes, the importance of seeing, and we as HBCU alumni actually putting on that shirt. And I know this, I know all of our other organizations are so important. They are so very important to us. We eat, sleep, and breathe the many other organizations that we are a part of. But we feel that it is equally important that you put on a Grambling shirt, that a group of Gramblinites get together, a group of Southern alums, a group of Paul Quinn alums, a group of Howard alums get together, put on your shirt, and be seen in the neighborhood. The reason why is I think we've got to change the narrative. Most people, when they see us as HBCUs, they think of two things. Either we're going to a party or we're asking for money for school projects that people never see happen. Now, I'm not getting on that, because that's what most people say. We've given to this and we've never seen this particular project happen. This is what people think. But they don't realize
changing that narrative, right, Bishop? Let me restate that. We have changed that narrative.
Yes, we have rewritten. We have rewritten that narrative. We changed that.
Rebranded.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's what I meant.
Now we are the professionals. That's first and foremost. We are active in our alumni chapters, and we work collectively to promote and uplift our historically Black colleges and universities. You see what we did, guys? We're still doing the same thing, but now we are telling the story. We're controlling the narrative. We're not going to allow anyone else to tell our story before we tell it any longer. We're controlling that narrative.
Absolutely.
So what are we doing with our mentoring program, Bishop?
So as we have been meeting in the past, one Saturday a month, we have gone to a high school, and we have it was the oh gosh, I just lost the name.
Middle College High School.
I was about to say Houston Community College High School. Thank you. Middle College. That's why you need a
It is a dual program with Houston Community College. That's why I'm confused, because they're in the same building. It's a dual college program, that we're working with.
Yes. And we went once a month, one Saturday a month, and all of the members came out. We had members. We actually had new members, people that we had never seen, because we opened that for everyone to come out and represent your school. And came. Dillard was there, and Morehouse was there, and Grambling, and so many people showed up to represent their schools. Joyce Johnson is on. She was actually one of our presenters. We had 4 cores components that we discussed and we talked about. And so we are grateful that Ms. Johnson was one of those presenters. And so what
Right.
we are doing is we are relaunching our mentoring program virtually. This
Yes.
time it will be a virtual experience. We are up with the times. We have caught up with the times, and we're having our virtual experience for the students. And so that
Uh-huh.
information will be coming out. There's a relationship that we're actively building now so that we can work with the principal to bring
Mhm.
students from this school on virtually, and that we can do a program, a mentorship program with them. And beyond what we're doing, we want to encourage the message that we're sending out for HBCU alums and the Houston HBCU Alumni Association is get out in the neighborhood, be seen in the community. We may not be on CNN, we may not be on Fox News or the major news media outlets, but if you tell your story to one, if you share your story with one person, one young person, sharing your experiences, I believe it will change their life. We did have a question that came up, and Ms. Brown, maybe you can speak to this because you were sharing with us about the census. And I realized how important the census is. I never thought about the importance of the census until I began to do genealogy research about my family.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's
And
exactly.
plugging in the stories and trying to debunk myths.
Mhm.
Because, in our families, we all have these heroes, and grandma so and so was this, and somebody was an Indian, and somebody was from this place, and somebody was in World War I and or in the Civil War, and we get all of these great stories. But when we started
Mhm.
taking these records, we found out, okay, something else totally different. And I know for me, if it were not for a census taken in the late 1800s, the 1910 census, I mean, it meant so much to me to look at the census to see my great grandmother 8 years old on
Right.
census and to see this. So it's really important. And the question that we have here from Miss Bradford, from Gracie Bradford, is what should we do to encourage eligible college students to register and vote, as well as help with taking the census? I'm going to give that to you, Ms. Brown.
Okay, thank you so very much. So, what we can do to encourage eligible college students to register to vote, we need to be on their campuses. We need to be having conversations in our community, in our neighborhoods. We see these children come home from college or have just recently gone off to college. We need to have conversations, maybe a block party where we can all get together and just fellowship a little bit while social distancing, of course, to promote voting, promote exercising your right, being a part of community
Mhm.
activism,
Yeah.
being counted
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
census. If you are not
Exactly.
counted, how can funds be allocated appropriately
Correct.
to your
Correct.
community, to your
It
individual
drives your
communities,
funding
and
for your
all of our
community.
communities as a whole? It
Mhm.
overlaps from one community to the other. We're going to get new, like I got in my community, a new fire station. That wouldn't be possible if they don't know the needs of our communities. We have to
Right.
put the word out there. We need hospitals, in our directly in our communities, at least an emergency medical clinic if we can't get a hospital. And we
Mhm.
just need resources. We need to do better in marketing our businesses as well in the community and promoting for them to set up shop in our communities as well. And we need to support
Mhm.
them financially so that they can continue to provide a service to the community. But
Right.
we definitely need to get the word out, have conversations with our nieces, nephews, any young adults. We need to be
Mhm.
having conversations with them and encouraging them to vote. And hopefully, their parents are assisting them with registering to vote. If you've
Right.
never voted before, some people, it may be a slight challenge for them or a little bit intimidating. But it's a really
Mhm.
easy process, as is the census. It's just a few questions. You need your name, your address, just a little bit of pertinent information, and you're in. So we
Correct.
definitely need to have the conversations. We need to promote it, have block parties, pass out flyers. You know, like this past weekend, we did the back to school event. That was a perfect opportunity. And of course, the census was there. So, we just need to get the word out.
And we assisted the census in packing their bags with the information and getting it to those community members that came through for that activity. So this organization is actively seeking opportunities to assist them. Because even when they first started, the young lady that was out there Saturday, I actually met her when she first started with the census. And now she's in the middle of it. And I told her when I met her, she had on heels and her hair was all curled. Now she has on her sneakers. I say, so you're in the middle of working now, right? She was like, yes. So, but yes, we, are assisting them in getting the word out about completing the census. And I know last meeting, which was last Tuesday, Ms. Brown reported on the census and asking members to remember to complete the census, those that had not, because we wanted to make sure. And Bishop, we're going to start with the executive team. We should be able to report 100% at our September meeting that the executive team have completed the census. So your president has completed it, and we'll go down the road and make sure. That's my goal, to start with those that you have, an immediate direct arm's length, as we call it, contact with, to make sure those are finished. And then it'll go on and on.
Absolutely. And I want to add that you can go to usa.gov, and you can confirm your voter registration there. So if you want to confirm whether or not you're registered to vote, you can do that online at www.usa.gov. We are not affiliated with that website or that entity, but just sharing with you that that is a website that you could attend, that you can go to learn how to register to vote, as well as check your voter registration. Make sure that you are still registered to vote. And I did the census, and we participated in the census. Yes, because
You're
we
making my
need.
job easy.
Absolutely.
Just a few more officers I have to.
It's done. We have participated in the census as we want to stand up,
Yeah.
and we want to be counted.
Yes,
Houston HBCU, our whole idea today was to encourage HBCU alumni all over the country, all over the globe. And I promise you, I was in Nigeria, and there was an alumnus from who was Nigerian, that graduated from Paul Quinn in the 70s, that found out that I was in Nigeria preaching and wanted to connect with me. So you will connect with HBCU. I have been in the airport with a t-shirt on in Paris, France, in the airport, and I have been stopped by someone that recognized my HBCU t-shirt. So we have alumni all over the world. And what we're saying is that we need to be represented. We need to represent ourselves. And Ms. V gave the right word. It is changing our narrative. It is taking control of our narrative. It's putting that t-shirt on from your school. We know the other week. And right now, HBCUs are at the forefront of conversation, cultural conversation, urban conversation. The other week, Deion Sanders, a football
graduated.
graduated from Talladega, or the other week we've had this going on. There's this whole awakening and resurgence of awareness for our HBCU. So those of us who have that HBCU experience, what we're saying to you is to put your shirt on, go out there and be seen in the community, and make sure that people know where you have graduated from. I have had my Paul Quinn t-shirt on with the tiger, and some people came to me and said, "Oh, we thought you graduated from LSU." And I was able to tell them about Paul Quinn College, and they hadn't heard of Paul Quinn College. Ms. B makes the joke all the time that nobody knew about Paul Quinn College in Houston
until Bishop Harper showed up on the scene. Now we know about Paul Quinn College, and he will not let you forget it.
I will not let anybody forget it. And you know what, Ms. V, you have given my son so much Grambling items, and
we're going to keep giving him the Grambling stuff because we are here to recruit.
But
we will recruit your children, your grandchildren.
But guess what? Miss Brown gave him an H, and that H is still in his room. And my 8-year-old son,
I'll come and visit,
has said that he is attending Howard University. When he did his last photo shoot, he took his H, and you know what? It was something that was a connection with Miss Brown, and whatever was Miss Brown.
And she got some Southern stuff.
So we got,
there's one love that we really love, and that is our HBCU camaraderie. It's nothing like it. If you didn't graduate from an HBCU, you don't know about this. And we're sorry. It's never too late to become a graduate, but you don't know about the HBCU camaraderie.
It's never too late. And some of us, we love HBCU so much that when we get upset with our first HBCU, we get a degree from another HBCU. We take pictures with that new HBCU. That's what we do in HBCUs. And we don't like the one, or we get upset with the one that we graduated from.
We don't care.
Second degree, a third degree, and a fourth degree.
Nothing like
it. We can change our schools in a minute. In a heartbeat. You know what? This has been a great conversation. In the last
there she goes.
There she is. There she is. There she is. I'm giving a shout out to Michael Sorrell, president of Paul Quinn College in Dallas, Texas. We support Brother Prez. That's what we call him. But in the last few minutes of this discussion, I'd like to go ahead and we'd like to get last thoughts. Now, y'all know I'm a word person and I believe in the power of speaking. So I don't say final thoughts. I have no final thoughts because I don't plan to die anytime soon. But we want to give some last thoughts for this particular conversation. And we thank you so much, Ms. Brown, for joining in with us. And we appreciate you so much, your dedication to our organization and all that you have done in the last few months to keep us abreast to what's taking place in the area of social justice. And before you give that thought, let me add that we will not be physically attending the commitment march, the Get Your Knee Off My Neck march that is sponsored by the National Action Network, led by Reverend Al Sharpton. We were planning to attend as an organization, but because of COVID-19 and the rising cases, we have decided not to go. So as my great-grandmother said in her lifetime, I'm going to send my check to represent me. So our organization is sending a donation in the name of the Houston HBCU Alumni Association. You can get our information from our website, and you can make a donation to that effort if you would like to. There have been others who have contacted us who have told me that they are making a donation to that particular effort, so that we will not be there physically. We will stream, and we will stream, but we're also going to send our dollars. So we want to make sure that our members know, those of you who may have missed our last meeting, that we will not be in physical attendance for the march. And the National Action Network has actually asked people from different regions that where the numbers are high for COVID to remain at home and line. So that being said, Ms. Brown, I want to go ahead and give you an opportunity to give us your last thoughts on this conversation.
Okay, thank you. What I would like to say is, for all of our Howard University alumni, we need to continue to increase our positive impact on the world. We need to get involved in our community activism. We need to take part, get on the ground running, and supporting justice for all, justice for us. We need to give back to our communities. We need to invest in the Social Action Network as members. We collectively need to do that, so that we can support the efforts that are going forth, that are continued for decades to come. We just need to, get involved, get the word out, make sure that our families, our friends are voting. We need to make sure that all of our communities are counted with the census, and just promote justice, promote well-being, promote communities and togetherness and love.
Awesome, awesome, awesome words. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Brown. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for giving us this space of time and giving your voice to the conversation. And we say good night to you.
Good night.
Well, Miss Veronica, that was another great conversation. We thank all.
Yes, it was, Bishop. It really was.
It really was.
It's always a great day when you have an opportunity to sit and have a conversation about our historically Black colleges and universities. It really is.
Absolutely. And I look forward to this conversation.
I do too.
Monthly. And you know what? Y'all listen, in the months to come, we have HBCU presidents that are lined up in this conversation. It's going to be a great conversation. Well, Miss V, I hear your puppies in the background. I
was hoping you didn't hear that.
Rocco and Chewy are telling us that it's time to end HBCU Live for tonight.
Play them some music so they'll go to sleep.
So, thank you guys for joining us on Houston HBCU Live. Miss Veronica, do you have any closing thoughts?
Just thank our audience for joining us, and thank you all guys so much for coming on board monthly to have a conversation about our historically Black colleges and universities. And as always, it's nothing like peace. And we know that we can go. Make sure you go over and look up the signature brand so that you can get your shirt, because we know that HBCU.
Absolutely. Good night. Thank you all for joining in. Share this with someone else. We'll have a watch party starting immediately after